Hello and welcome to a review of the Green Goblin construction figure. This is a Lego Marvel set from 2024. I bought it on clearance for $15 after some sizable discounts. And I did that despite not being a Marvel fan because I was very interested in the idea of modern Lego doing a Bionicle-like constructible action figure. I'm sure most of you know this, but in 2001, Lego released the landmark Bionicle theme, which was their first majorly successful attempt at making constructible action figures. And while that line had a lot of evolution in its, I think, 9 to 10 year run, and, construction as an art form and as a style definitely changed over time with Hero Factory and Bionicle Gen 2, the short of it is that we've gone from this to this. You can kind of see the changes in philosophy and everything where, a figure like this Bionicle, Lewa, has a bunch of super unique parts, some of which, remain exclusive to this day, or maybe not exclusive, but, Bionicle exclusive, like they're not really used outside of Bionicle, like this mask, the axe, and even stuff like the legs and like the feet and stuff. Like these are all parts that are, it's exciting to open a Bionicle and build it because most parts of it are unique. It's very unlike what you'd get with any other sort of building toy with Lego. Well, this is the opposite. The Green Goblin is the opposite. It uses kind of typical mech joints. It uses, this sort of small detailing Speed Champions pieces, these little wedges that it seems like every single set uses nowadays. And it has this sort of genericism with this mask piece, which isn't, it's an interesting piece for what it is. But at the end of the day, this piece is sort of designed for, in a way that all the Marvel construction figures can use it. And that's not necessarily too much of a bad thing. It's interesting to have a piece that's like molded as a face like this, but it speaks to their philosophy where they kind of want all Lego sets to be built with the same pieces. The Lego repertoire doesn't really have these little niches like it used to back in the 2000s. You're not going to get a line like soccer or whatever, where they develop a whole different set of new pieces for some specific gimmick. Modern Lego, unless it's like very specific cases, would rather just use the existing parts repertoire and do another play on like a display piece, And that's where I think this new set falters, because the original has this sort of inherent playability, with the gear system. There's like alt builds and everything, Bionicles themselves kind of inspire customizability with all of their parts being a lot larger, Like it's very easy to just swap around the arms of this Bionicle to a different one, combine them easily, There's kind of a basic, There's elements of this that, make you want to take it apart, combine them with other Bionicles. It's like this whole fun thing. While with this figure, it really feels like it's more for a display piece. There aren't really many play features in this stand, this flyer. While it is cool that it's here, and I actually think it's an interesting build for what it is, it's kind of just there so that you have a nice place to pose this figure, He doesn't have flick fire missiles or anything, even like on a basic level. He just has these balls he can hold, You can pose him. He even has this weird neck thing, which wouldn't make sense if this was just to play with, because it's like you're going to have this dangling around if you have him moving his head around. It's mainly there so you can cover up gaps if you're posing him, because that's basically what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like a statue. And that's fine for what it is, but that's nothing very new for modern Lego, They've been making their collector sets and their minifigure scale sets that are, a lot of them are supposed to just be, especially the Marvel line, are mainly supposed to be display pieces. And that's just, I think it's unfortunate because it kind of misses the point of an action figure toy, where like the whole idea is, you have this character that you want to, play around with, beat things up, make stories with, and that whole thing, like, and it works well enough with this thing, but how many constructible action figures are there really going to be in this line to facilitate that sort of play? Probably not that many, and they're pretty expensive, so it's kind of hard to get a hold of a lot of them. So really, you can do basic scenarios with Spider-Man and the Green Goblin, those two sets released in the same wave, but that simple endeavor in itself is like $100, or maybe like $70, to be honest. But with figures like Bionicle, or even traditional action figures, the sets were very cheap, they were affordable, they're kind of interchangeable, you know. You can do a lot more with the open story Bionicle, while the Green Goblin, you know, he's a villain, he's a pre-established character, you can't really do too much with him. And I don't know, there's just something way more appealing to me about this style compared to this. There are parts of this that are technically customizable and inspire thought, like it uses Galador joints, so you could swap these out with other things if you wanted pretty easily. Ball joints are the same deal. You could even combine Bionicle with this guy together. In fact, let's give that a try. Yeah, that actually looks kind of cursed. Oh my god, wait. I actually like this a lot, actually. You know, that's part of the reason I like this set, because it has a lot of these construction style pieces in green, which I think are pretty awesome and work well. But I guess that's a positive. I'm being very harsh on this set, because I sort of bought it as a think piece more than like as a huge Marvel fan or whatever, because I just find this philosophy and the change in Lego very interesting. I guess, well, I guess I should talk about the set itself. Let's fix them. The set itself is an action figure. It's actually pretty well articulated for what it is. The stand does a lot of work in sort of making this, you know, very posable. Oh no. Let me fix that. As you can see here, there are tons of these spike pieces and these slopes, and it's like, oh my god, these are not fun to build with. I don't like these pieces. I'm so sick of them. I've built Lego dot sets, you know, and those are fine enough, and like Speed Champions, it's all the same detailing pieces, and just lining up a bunch of them in a row over and over again. It's not that fun. I feel like, I don't want to be too mean, but it just wasn't that fun building this guy, even though it was cool to see him come together. And there are some pieces in the set that I think are cool, like this piece especially, this ball joint holder in green. That's cool. These weird purple pieces on the flyer, those are cool. The part usage of these sort of scimitar-esque, kind of medieval scimitar-style swords, that's really cool. That's inspired. And I do like his headpiece. It's just so strange. And it's great to get printed pieces on this. There were no stickers in this set, which is cool, but it does make me think that, you know, a sticker could have replaced this detailing, or, I mean, obviously I'd prefer a print, but I don't think they'd do that. Could replace this kind of detailing, and then the build process would be funner, and, you know, it'd be less repetitive. But, you know, it's more about detail, and I get that. Even though I do love printed pieces and the kind of 90s approach of simplifying details that, you know, kind of stylizes it a little bit more. Kind of like a cartoon almost. Yeah, another one of these weird things that they put in there to kind of facilitate display value is this, like, kneecap thing. Just very strange. Like, I get it. If you want to go like that, you can cover up the ball joint, and that's cool that they have something for that, because they just refuse to make some of these pieces in colors that aren't gray or dark gray, and you can cover it up, which is cool. But like, what if you just have him normally? Then he has these weird kneecaps sticking out. I guess you're supposed to take them off, but it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of weird that there's parts of the figure that are made specifically for like these very like specific movements, and I guess that works. I guess that's the kind of thing you get with this character where he's leaning in, like there's that Atari commercial where he's doing that. It is cool too how he has a rotating waist. I also like the idea that you could combine this with something else, you know? It almost makes it kind of Galador-esque in how the torso and legs are these desperate elements that you can combine and interact. I wonder if the Spider-Man figure also has that, and if that was intentional. If so, that's pretty cool. His hands have these sort of golden balls. The idea is you're supposed to put these in the back for storage somewhere, like here, I believe. Yeah, I mean, I guess it works. I don't know. The stud came off, but yeah, it's whatever. You kind of almost expect these to be flick fire missiles, given the fact that they're given their ballistic shape, but they're not. If you look at the back, I actually quite like the way his head is shaped. It's very kind of, I don't know, it's almost aerodynamic with its protrusion there. The back is covered with something, at least. I mean, I know some people care about that a lot, and I'm not really one to care that much. If we take him off the flyer, ooh, We can see his shoes, which, they're fine. Same with the legs. I think the figure, for what it is, it's well detailed enough. You definitely capture the character, even though there is a lot of, very simple detailing that gets repetitive. Here's his flyer. Oh God, it's falling apart a little bit, but it's just because I was jostling around with it a lot. This is the last thing you build, which kind of made me think that I'd kind of almost want this to be the first thing you build, because it's very different than the Green Goblin itself, and it's, kind of builds anticipation for him. I kind of like this build for what it is. These big purple Technic pieces are fun to build with. I love big oversized pieces, and as I've kind of commented on earlier, you just don't get a lot of those in modern Lego sets, especially, sets like this that are sort of built around these small detail pieces and building up a figure, over time. This is a printed piece, which is cool. More printed pieces, the better. It's actually really cool that this set doesn't have stickers. Yeah, I guess it can go up like this. I don't know really much about the Green Goblin in general. I don't know if this is like, I know he rides around in a flyer. There's that set from like 2002 that has him do that, but there's nothing really to it. It's kind of, it's not expendable. It did probably raise the price of this set. This is a $45 set when the other constructible action figures, I believe, are $30 or $35. I don't know if that's worth $15. This guy, I don't know if he's worth $30. It's definitely a bad price, especially considering the comparison to other action figures that are much cheaper and have way more other things they interact with. Looking at the box, we actually have a decent box here, I don't really like the Spider-Man No Way Home banner because I don't really care about that. I just kind of, it's just, none of these characters are in here. It's like, okay, whatever, some random movie. I guess the other one is this Spider-Man. Yeah, he's in the city, 1-to-1, his face mask. Lego Marvel. I kind of like the back of this more, where it's a little bit more of a dynamic pose, and I like how it shows him coming off of it. And this little weird Spider-Man symbol, just kind of strange. It seems like the kind of thing that would be I feel like I'd be quick to point out on an older Lego box if there's just some random symbol there. And it's a very clean back of the box. Like, there's just one big image, and I kind of like it more than the front, because, this has these Spider-Man or whatever. Well, this is just very pure, The instructions are very, very boring. I'm honestly I don't know what I expect from modern Lego instructions, but there's just nothing here, man. You get to the last page, you build him, and that's it. Not even an advertisement for the other set. It's like, man, I just wish that maybe you put some fun promotional material or anything. It is cool to see Captain Brickbeard from the 2009 Pirates wave here. It's kind of crazy that he's still around as this kind of relic of like a sort of genericized idea of Lego. He's the pirate. And it's funny that they stuck to him instead of the one from 2015 or even Redbeard. I do prefer him. He's one of my favorite figures of all time. But it's just funny to see him here. And that's really all there is to say. This set was an interesting thing to build, to think about, to look at. It does make it kind of clear that Lego probably will never bring back Construction and Bionicle the way it was. And of course, that's sad. I still want to see whatever they're doing now and what merits it has, I was very negative in this review because I'm kind of coming at this from a sort of longing perspective for, for specific ideas that Lego just doesn't have in this set. But, for what it is, it's fine. I like it. I like thinking about it, I like that it inspires this discussion within me. And sometimes that's enough. $15, that's less than the price of a battle pack. So I think I got my money's worth out of this set, and it was enjoyable to think about and to talk about. And honestly, I'll enjoy parting it out and making some other green guy out of it, or even just throwing the limbs on Bionicles, because that's how I enjoy Lego. And, it's okay that this set exists, facilitates some completely different audience. As long as I can get something out of it, I'm happy. And that's, I guess, all there really is to say. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.